if I would be attacking my opponent when he's on his back, I have options of like putting his legs over his head, keeping them here and blocking them, going around or going in between, yeah? So I sort of have to know when is the time to do what. And if let's say his legs are really up high here, well then it's the most logical thing is to start doing this, you know, and then start to see how it's gonna develop. Either I'm gonna go to his inverted guard or he's gonna turtle, yeah? If his like shins are a little bit lower, then it would be time to start blocking his shins and then be passing like that. If his legs are sort of mid-range, that's when I'm gonna step in between the legs and do various passes in between. But if he's like really closed up and he's sort of, his mindset is to protect his guard, because when you are protecting your guard, you want to be like crunching up, closed up with your knees out, yeah? This is the, because if my opponent wants to pass, he needs to move my knees away from my chest, yeah? And when I get here, that's the time when I'm like really protecting my guard. And when you recognize that, that's the time to start moving your opponent as a whole, yeah? And this is a very good way of doing it, and I actually prefer this way than this one. Because when you start going like this, you can pummel with this leg and recover, yeah? When I put my elbow here, try to do it, there's no room for his to pummel with his legs, yeah? So now as we are drilling this, please, if you are on bottom, make sure that you are protecting your guard, which means that your upper body is off the ground and the hips are off the ground, because that's the time to do this pass. I recognize he's closed up, and that means that I can move him, because for me to recover guard, if you can stand up, I have to be like that. If he starts moving, yeah, to have that ability. And I'm actually using that against my opponent, okay? So I don't want to overdo it so he spins fully, but what I want to do is that when I position my palm on his ribs and my elbow, I want to start moving him here just enough so his knee passes next to my lat. And as soon as his knee passes next to my lat, I want to close the distance. So he doesn't do it fully and all the way around, okay? What else is important is that when I position myself to do this, I'm not straight with my legs, okay? If I'm like straight here, I can't put pressure on. So for me to put pressure, I have to put two pressures. One pressure is with my elbow in the inside of his knee. The other pressure is with my palm. To be heavy, look, bent legs and on my toes. Yeah? That's my position. Now from there, as I start doing it, do you see how it's easy to follow up with those bent legs? As opposed how I'm gonna create, you know, like then I have to start moving. But if I position myself instantly, like this, you see how close I am? And I'm able to be like that. Yeah? For those who, for example, did the class yesterday evening, fundamentals, we were talking about, like, if you enter the position to go for a knee cut or a headquarters, you want to be flat-footed. Because now here, I have to be bent down and I have to control this. But as soon as I want to put that forward pressure, that's when I'm on the toes. And a lot of people make that mistake. You want to be here on toes, trying to go for this, and then here, flat-footed. You have to understand what kind of pressure you want to make. Yeah, does this make sense? So one more time, I recognize my opponent, yes, he's protecting his guard. Place the palm on the ribs. This hand, you see how I position it? So I can do this. It's not here. It's like this. I want to be certain. Elbow, push. And instantly as I'm doing it, because I'm on my toes, my knees are bent, I'm able to close this distance as soon as I move the knee behind my leg. This makes sense? Do we understand when we do this one? That's very important as well, you know? Like recognizing, okay, I'm gonna go this way, now he's closed up. Now it's the time to do it. Okay, let's go.